Let me see. I'm going to do a little roll call here. Safwan Javed,
Present.
Shaun Verreault.
And accounted for.
Excellent, excellent. Wide Mouth Mason, although it is Wide Mouth Mason, that's what we're talking to. But just for the record, are you both members of Oddsmouth Mason?
When called upon, if required.
When you sit in with the odds and you become Craig Northey, you become Oddsmouth Mason.
Yeah, there's been a few times over the years where a gig has come up and maybe Craig was playing with Stephen Page.
Yeah.
Or some of each of our bands were not able to make the gig. And going back to when we were making our first ever record at Greenhouse Studios in Burnaby, the odds were next door. And they big brothered us through that experience. And we've remained tight ever since and played many weird gigs together as some sort of a mix of both bands. And you're right, your intel is correct. When we do so,
and Safwan, do you play Pat Stewart?
I have done it. It's a lot easier to do when I'm in Vancouver, which typically I'm not a lot these days. Yeah. But it's a Frankenstein-ish loose affiliation of composite parts, and I'm open to that anytime. It's basically a gathering place for people who play music and like to laugh.
Anyone doing the Pat Stewart chair, though, it's incumbent upon them to drink way too much coffee and just tell tales for about 30 minutes before you actually start playing. It's part of the role.
Occasionally stand up at the end of the song.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of standing. A lot of morning runs as well.
Congratulations, guys, on this amazing album. First listen, it went by me. I had too many thoughts. I went back a second and third time. I went back deep into the night. Now I get it. Late Night Walking, the name of the album. And there's a reason why it's Late Night Walking. Who came up with the title?
It was unusual for us to pull it from a lyric. From what ended up being the first song. So all these years into our career, we've made a record that starts with the name of the record as the very first thing that you hear a person say. And just to say, man, now it feels like the record is out. If we're talking to Terry David Mulligan, it feels like now we have a record that's come out that we've introduced to the world. Because going back to 1997, I think that's what we've done when we put a record out, is hang with TDM. And yeah, I think it sums up. It was actually Saf who suggested it. He was like, I think this line from this song sums up the feeling of the record, that feeling of maybe you have your headphones in, it's late at night, it's dark, you can see the lights in the buildings around you. It's a contemplative time. You've probably gone through some things either in a day or in a couple of strange years of pandemics and then returning to music and all that stuff. So it seemed like it captured the spirit of this mix of songs in a nice way.
Did I read something go by quickly that you have re-released your old albums, Saf?
Yeah, so our friend and label owner has been able to negotiate deals with our former label, also known as Warner Music Canada, to be able to reissue on vinyl our first. Now he just did our first two albums, and previously he'd done our third album, Stew. So now you can get self-titled on vinyl, you can get Where I Started on vinyl, and you can get Stew on vinyl, and all because of Eric Warner at We Are Busybodies.
I have none of the above. I have it
on I can hook you up. I know a guy.
No, it's okay. I have it on 8-track. It's okay.
Perfect.
It's out in your Pinto outside.
And your words are killing me. I don't ask that much of you. I just want to hear the truth. But you keep on passing by. Look the other way when I see your eyes. Why can't I be your baby? Why can't I be your man? It's driving me crazy. Why? I don't understand. You had all I could give, and I believe you deserved it. Now you're making me realize, talking about could have made a sacrifice. See, I thought you were serious, but it seems you're scared of us. So now I can't see straight. I guess I'm the one who's been afraid. Why can't I be your baby? Why can't I be your man? It's driving me crazy. Why? I don't understand. Why can't I be your baby? Why can't I be your man? You're driving me crazy. Why? I don't understand.
Was there a time in the recent past where this album wasn't going to happen, the band wasn't going to move forward, or was it all? Or did it just take time to get it all into place?
There have been few constants in most of my life. One of them is making music with Shaun Verreault. And that goes back to when I was 8 years old, something like that. And I'm much older now. And so I don't, and once in a while we'll even say this to each other, especially when there's been a bit of a gap. And it's, the nodding of the head and the acknowledgement that, hey man, we're going to keep doing this till we're not able to do this anymore. So the gaps might get bigger from time to time. That's usually just a circumstance that's causing it, having little kids, having other responsibilities, having aging parents. Like there's all kinds of things that come up.
I think it's
create
called,
hurdles.
we'll file that under life.
That is life. That is life, my friend. That's a wise way to frame it. And so I think the one thing I know is that unless and until I can't do it anymore or Shaun can't do anymore, we'll keep making records. Doesn't really matter about anything else that surrounds that.
So while Shaun was doing the tri-slide, working that out and posting like every 10 minutes
Yeah.
with a new song, did I miss your posts? Were you posting?
I was like many others looking at him going, this guy is
This is
prolific."
annoying.
Well, it would alternate. I already went through my being annoyed with him phase. That was the first 15 years. Now we're good. No, but like, look, Shaun is prolific in terms of his creative output and maybe the most committed person I've known in terms of wanting to grow and learn, whether that's applied to music or just anything in life, but certainly in the musical sphere, I don't know anyone that works as hard as he does to keep growing and to keep evolving and coming up with new methods and ideas and outputs. He's an impressive fella. I don't like to tell him that too often because usually my role is to keep my friends grounded. But in this instance, I'll let it go a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I'm like anyone else watching it, going, Jesus, this guy is. Where in the world do you find the time to do this?
Actually, you know, Saf, I think he is grounded, but it's his version of being grounded.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think you're right. This is the thing.
True.
That's probably his anchor, right? This is the thing that keeps him most connected to whatever is essential for him to exist.
Especially over the pandemic, it was the only way to differentiate the days, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fortunate to have we both have parallel careers connected to the music business. So unlike many of our peers, we were okay mortgage wise and not doing gigs for an extended period of time. But it did really give me an opportunity to connect with the guitar again in a way that I hadn't really spent that many hours woodshedding and practicing since being, 12 and playing along with records. So every day I would kind of just set a bar of, I know on this new technique that I've developed playing with 3 slides on a lap steel that I can't play this song, but could I play it by the end of the week? Could I play it by the end of tomorrow if I dove into it? And so I would just keep moving the goalpost on myself to discover new things.
For all those players out there, and I assume you don't have your slides handy, so hold up those 3 fingers. Those 3 fingers. Give me those 3 fingers.
So this one, and this one.
Those 3
usually have C-3POs.
That's like some sort of Star Trek sign. But you worked it. You got it. You kept doing it. You kept sending those things out, getting it right. Sometimes you apologize. Sometimes you were slap happy. It all worked out. So here's the thing. Here's what surprises me. Because at the end of Habitual, the lead-off track, you go out in a blaze of glory on banjo.
Yes.
I mean, you are killing it on the banjo.
Thank you, brother. I had a couple of years ago, the musical director for a theatrical production that was happening in Vancouver called me and said, "Look, I know you play dobro all day, so you're covered here, but we're doing a production of a Dolly Parton musical, and we need someone to play not just banjo. It can't be bluegrass banjo. Yeah. It has to be clawhammer, pre-1940s style.
Yeah, okay.
And mandolin. Do you do both of those things?" And I was like, well, by November, I could learn how to do both of those things. So I just rented one of each, started watching YouTube videos in August or so, and was ready to do the musical by November. What I hadn't anticipated was how much I was going to love both of those instruments. So yeah, banjos showed up on a couple of the songs. And that particular style of clawhammer, that's like playing it like a drum.
Like a drum. You took the words out of my mouth. It is. It's a rhythm instrument.
Mm-hmm.
You can pound
Fell
it.
madly in love with it. And yeah, so it's on the record. When we depending on how the shows and production shape out, it might end up on stage with us at some point. But yeah, good ear. It did end up on the record.
See the constellations of lighted windows of the towers. Late night walking, so many conversations that I'm happy to not be having. I know the sun never goes down, we turn away from it. We're always spinning round, we just get used to it. It's habitual. It's habitual. Perpetual is ritual. It's habitual.
Saf, give me an example of writing between the two of you, how songs come together. I'm looking at a couple of, You Push Me, for example. Who walked in with that? How did it happen?
Shaun walked in with that, and that's often the case. Shaun will walk in with varying levels of embryonic ideas. Sometimes they're fully formed. They've actually gone to like, oh, all we really need to do is attach a rhythm to this, really. Sometimes they're less formed. Sometimes they're pieces from one and pieces from another in his lyric book, which is ample. And it's basically a process of let's sit in a room and play stuff. Play what you got.
Okay.
Here's a page from Shaun's lyric book. Here's what he played to it, and then we kind of just talk about it.
Does the riff have to come first? Does the riff start it?
Not necessarily. Okay, oftentimes you'll have some idea of a riff or at least a melodic sort of underbelly that's attached to his lyrics, but he's pretty nimble in terms of he can turn that on a dime and take lyrics that were attached to a particular melody, attached to a particular chord structure, and move them over to something completely different and just make it work. I've watched him, man. TDM, you got me like complimenting this guy way more than I'm used to doing, but I'm gonna do it. I'll let it go. He's, I've watched him over the course of his recording career go from a guy who is like most others, I think, to maybe the most nimble person I've seen in a studio, where whether it's pre-production or actual recording, it's, you throw the idea out and he's essentially a machine. He's like AI without being AI. You just tell it what to do, and
he is a living, breathing AI. Let me get this right. I'm looking at the guys in the studio with you, Gordy Johnson on bass and B3 organ.
Yeah.
And treble making.
Yeah. General, we know if you're actually with Gordy, he's going to have some stringent policy on, we have to go to this coffee place in Coquitlam every day because it's my favorite coffee and I always go there when I'm in Vancouver. So we didn't invite him to be in the studio.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me stop you there. If he gets to tell you about coffee and coffee styles and the right kind of coffee, can't you tell him about hairstyles? Can you talk to him about his...
No. Okay. And that's the big brother, smaller brothers dynamic, right? We can't really tell him anything. We can laugh at him, which we do a lot, but he's making the call on the coffee stops and on his own hairdos.
How many? So do you want to? I want to play that track. I just want to play it because you pushed me. Did it come from a personal experience, or was it just a hang? What?
That one. I think I had, to your point, sort of the riff that happens during the verses. Because just playing slide, I stumbled on a thing that I could do with my, index finger, and that kind of made that riff happen. And then it was like Saf said, often we'll start playing something. Raw Deal was this way.
Raw Deal, I love that. I freaking love Raw Deal.
Where thank you. We just started playing it at Ryan's without knowing which song was going to be attached to it. And we kind of got a bit of a vibe going. And then, it was over the pandemic again. It was just filling lyric books with ideas. Just, this is a funny thing, or this is a couplet that sounds good to me. These sort of coalesce and turn into this thing where I have a page of rhyming lyrics, but I don't know what they're going to be applied to. So I'll just start singing. And what we've done with writing in the past when it came to lyrics was I would just sing sounds and gobbledygook and sometimes sit down with Saf and go, what does it sound like I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's play.
So the song,
as if this was the telephone game. What are those vowels?
The song and the rhythm suggest where you're going.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
What a gift.
And then sometimes it'll be like, okay, I got I wouldn't love you with my enemy's heart sounded like the coldest thing you could say to somebody. So then that would be like the anchor and go, okay, we need other lines that... Too much information.
No, too much information. I have to play the song.
And I had that...
the song sells itself.
Like a country song almost.
Saf, how do I stop him? Saf, how do I stop him?
You just got to slowly fade down.
She said, I wouldn't love you with my enemy's heart. Through lips the color of a hardened scar. If you won't do it, I know someone who will. A painkiller that the pain won't kill. I wouldn't love you with my enemy's heart. Calling out your name and you shush me. Tried to take my time but you rushed me. In the palm of your hands and you crushed me. I didn't fall out of love, you pushed me. The color of a hardened scar. She said, I wouldn't love you with my enemy's heart. In the palm of your hands and you crushed me. I didn't fall out of love, you pushed me. You pushed me. You pushed me.
Let me move on. How many dolls did it take to make the record? DAHLE.
It depends on how you look at it, I suppose. I guess it's either one or all of them. Because I think all of them are rolled up in there and channeled into the experience that is Ryan Doll. I guess maybe it's two, right, Shaun? Because we did get some Kurt Doll hangs as well.
Okay.
We got some Kurt Doll times, and I wonder if the drums were partly his, or were those all Ryan's? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It
didn't
felt
get
like there was.
he didn't
it
get
felt
credit.
Like the spirit. No, he didn't get a credit.
And were you Limb Lifter fans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and crossed paths with probably them more than Age of Electric when they were touring a lot and we were
or New Pornographers, any of that stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that studio. I can't wait to go get over there and have a look at it. It's fantastic. It's so clean.
You should go.
How clean it is. It must be upsetting to walk into a clean studio and.
Well, and that actually has, not just natural light, but overlooking the splendor of Active Pass and Main Island.
If you're into that sort of thing, yeah.
If you like that.
By the way, I went scooting. First time I listened to the album, Late Night Walking, I went right by -2 minutes, missed it completely. And then I went back, and on the second listen, I went, how did I miss this? How did I miss this track? -2 minutes with Joey Landreth on the left-hand channel.
That's
and
correct.
You're on the right. And you're on the...
South's in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
That's really good, man. TDM, you are able to pick out who's on what side. That's pretty good,
No,
man.
no, it comes with the liner notes. I'm sorry, but I
Oh,
love
you
I
said
just
that?
love the
wrote it
fact that
down.
it's Joey over there, and all of a sudden I recognize
You
the
should have
new.
just gone with that, man. You could have been like, yeah,
I can't. No,
I can tell this playing in any
no,
channel.
I'm your editor. I couldn't listen to that. No, I'm sorry. And the cool thing is, he goes directly from appearing on your album, Joey, to playing with Eric Clapton in Los Angeles at the Clapton Festival. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. We've known the Bros for many years, and Ariel when he was one of the Bros Landreth. Always happy to run into them on the road and get a chance to hang and play together. I invited Joey to come to Saskatoon to do a weekend at Bud's together when we'd never played together, and it was just like, you know what, we should just get a place where we can go on stage for a couple hours a night and make it up off the top of our heads. So what a dear human being and a great hang. So when it was like, we should get someone else on this song just to change the vibe of it a bit, who's going to be our left channel guitar player? He was the first guy I thought
No,
of.
no, no.
And
I thought it was something like, where are we going to put Joey? Where's he going to go here?
yeah,
But everybody got to play. Everybody got to Safwan. You got to hang in there and drive it. It's fantastic.
I like to make a bet. I think I'm correct in remembering this. I think Joey, when he was quite young, wrote us like to our email when the internet was first a thing, and was just asking about, I don't know, the music business or something. I can't remember. He wrote something to us, and he told me that apparently I wrote him back when he was just like a young whippersnapper, and that it meant something to him, and that, whatever. So I'm not taking credit for his career, but I'm just saying.
Wow.
would that Grammy-winning song have happened without you writing that letter to him? Who's
I
to
don't
say?
know. Butterfly
Might have.
effect, my friend. Butterfly effect.
Made up mind. Made up mind.
I'm gonna leave that girl in mighty
Now let's get the raw deal for just a second. A 6 minute, 10-second killer. Closer. And usually a closer is a statement. Was there any statement in here, or am I just reading that into? I'm looking at you, Shaun. What do you think?
Well, I think, like you said, when you have an outro jam that's as long as the rest of the song is, you kind of where that's going to live in the running order feels like this is how we would end a set, is by going off on a bit of a tangent. So it felt like the right place to put it. The song itself was another one of those. I think it was the first thing we recorded when we got to Main Island and just started messing around with the riff. And the riff wasn't married to anything. It just was a physical thing that happened.
The first riff or the first riff or the second riff?
The first one that
And Saf, where did the second riff come? Did you suggest the second riff? I'm going to give you credit for that if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay.
Seems right. I will say, I do think it's a statement, TDM. It is a statement in that we are Canadian musicians, and few people get as raw of a deal as Canadian musicians in the world. So I'm just putting that out there.
There it is.
By way of introduction.
Sometimes you learn what a song is about after it comes out, and now I know. By
way of introduction, I'm going to be co-hosting the Rock Walk of Fame at Massey Hall on the 28th in Toronto with Jeannie Becker, and we're making amends to 80s bands, and we're inducting them into the Rock Hall of Fame, Rock and Walk Hall of Fame. And my question is, are
you telling?
I'm telling you this now, and I'm telling you this now. I'm going to give you the lineup. All I want to know is which band had the biggest influence on, because I want to ask them about influences. Which band had the biggest influence on you guys as a band, even slightly? Here we go. April Wine, Carol Pope and Rough Trade, Chilliwack, Glass Tiger, Kim Mitchell and Mac Webster, Lee Aaron, Lighthouse, Loverboy, Michelle Pagliaro, The Parachute Club, Trooper, Platinum Blonde, or Prism.
Oh my God, there's so many.
We did open for Trooper a few times back in the day. That was maybe one of the first of those, that era of bands that we interacted with, like at the Generator in Prince George or something. And they were always very kind to us. I played on Niles' solo record from April Wine. And before he retired from April Wine, he pulled me aside at one point and went, "Would you go out and sing on the road as the lead singer of April Wine if I retire?" And then we'd split the money and you'd just be the lead singer. And I was like, that sounds like a great way to make a bunch of April Wine fans mad at me. I can't.
At half pay.
I can't sing your set, brother. No, I can't.
And Carol Pope, Carol Pope in terms of the messaging and what that represented was really important. And on the complete other side of the spectrum, Platinum Blonde was really important for my air guitaring, and just coming into hey, I can try to be cool era of my life. Glass Tiger, same thing. Kim Mitchell is just an awesome human being, just a super nice guy, and their band is smoking good.
All right.
Yeah. So I think they probably influenced us quite a bit in terms of the level of professionalism of live performance.
Okay, two guys. I'm going to roll on here. It goes like this. Gordie Johnson, what did he bring to the music and to the studio? Just a quick answer.
Everything. Just another complete other dimension. He changed the basic nature of songs. We'd send him tracks and be like, "Do whatever you want. We need some bottom end," and he'd send them back. And every time my jaw was on the ground when we got back what he put on there. He just changed the songs and lifted them to this other place.
Yeah, because for context, we tracked just Saf and I playing and singing, and then we sent the tracks to Gordie outside of Austin for him to put bass on with no notes, no hey, we're kind of thinking this will feel like this, or can you accentuate this? We just sent them rolls of film that we wanted developed. And because we've played hundreds of shows together, we're like brothers, we've been in the band and then been touring with each other's bands. it was just carte blanche. Here they are, do what you feel on them. And I'll echo what Saf said. It was a surprise that drove us to giggles of delight when we'd listen and go, what? That chord, I didn't hear that chord change there, but you implied it, and now it's there. So he lifted it immensely.
And besides a great room and smarts and knowing you guys well, what did Brian Dahl bring to the tracks?
Ryan would have a sense of, hey, it's time to go feed the chickens. It's time to go for a walk in the mountains. Yeah. You know, he's really good at directing things that way, where if a song is flowing and things are easy, he can make himself almost invisible as a facilitator. Let me just get this ready and just go. And then when things hit a snag, he can be the guy going, let's go look at the water for a little bit, and you walk back refreshed and know that it's time to go.
Saf?
Tones. He's a tones king. The guy gets just top shelf tones, whether it's guitars, drums, vocals, whatever it is, and he knows what fits for what song. Like that knowledge, that's what a good producer and engineer does, right? Is they're able to ascertain what your vision is for a particular song when maybe even you don't know what that vision is, and then bring in the right pieces. This should use this kind of a mic for vocals. We should use this kind of an amp and mic it up this way for guitars. We should do this to your drums. Let's take cymbals out for this track. All those Lego pieces are there in his head, and he knows when to use them and when not to use them. Yeah,
you're all lifers. And you're doing this on a piece of granite, just barely sticking out of the Pacific Ocean.
That's really true.
That's true. And there's no easy in or out.
The bosom of the Pacific Ocean, some might say.
Upcoming tour dates, guys. October the 21st, Guitar Strings and Kidney Things at Bridgeworks in Hamilton. Is this a charity that you've been working on?
It's a charity near and dear to my heart. My mom's side of the family, 5 people have given kidneys to other people in the family. So kidney disease is a thing that my family struggles with. So thrilled to be a part of this event.
November 3rd, you're at the frickin' Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto.
That's correct. It's quite a flight.
The commute would be long. Those are the Canadian ones. Although we did toy at one point about making live records live from Paris, live from Neptune. But these are the Canadian ones. We're off tomorrow. Well, depending on the airing time, this might be in the past. But we're going to play Reeperbahn in Hamburg, Germany, this month before we head off to do those.
There's Burnstown. Then we get serious with the Alberta audience here. November 9 or 10, or perhaps both. Modern Love in Calgary. The 11th at Festival Place in Edmonton. The 12th in Bose in Red Deer. Then Fernie. And then the Dream Cafe in Penticton. Incredible room for you guys. You will love that room if you haven't already been there. The Pearl in Vancouver on November the 25th. The Wicket Hall in Victoria on the 30th. Then you go by me to the Waverley in Cumberland, a small ghost town that has been resurrected. It's fantastic. Have you ever been there, Cumberland?
No.
It's just outside of Courtney Comox, like literally just above
we have.
Courtney Comox. And December the 2nd, the Queens in Nanaimo. We're going to have lunch or dinner together.
I should caution, I don't know if we can air this part because I think those are all the offers, but I don't know if they're all confirmed.
I see. Fine. Well,
yeah, that's
it's written on a piece of paper. It must be.
Let me tell you something. As a lawyer, something written on a piece of paper does not confirm anything. No, that's not
unless
Ontario,
it's a signature.
Unless
a signature
signed and witnessed.
Even
all of the Ontario dates are confirmed. The Edmonton date is confirmed. The rest are still being moved around.
Well, maybe we'll hurry things along. Gentlemen, what do you plan to do with this album over the course of 2024? Will you have time to tour?
Yes, that's the plan. It's we're again to back to like circumstances of life. We're both dads. We both have parallel careers, and so a lot, in many ways, we've gotten to a really good place with making music. Making this album and playing live feels more like making our first album and playing live in those days than it has for our entire careers. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself. But the reason I say that is we don't have weight. There's no there's nothing attached to this other than the sheer love of making music, whether that's recorded or in a
Wait a
live
minute.
setting.
What about expectations? What about the weight of expectations?
That's what I'm saying. It's gone. This is the most freeing experience of making music I've had since we made our first album.
Get out of here. You figured it out.
I don't know. I don't want to say it 'cause I don't want to jinx it. Not that I believe in jinxes, but I don't want to jinx it. But I'm telling you, I think this is how it was meant to be.
I'm telling you, I'll tell you as an outside source, unbiased. Third time around, I was hooked. I'm going to be playing this the whole of the year and on into 2024 and demanding that you
really
play.
happy.
That's awesome.
That makes us
Thank
very
you.
happy.
And I'm going to leave
And
you
I
with.
think we hope that you get better at a thing the longer you do it. And maybe some of these self-imposed because we didn't want to miss our kids' childhoods or, imposed on us things like pandemics have stretched things out and made us appreciate things that maybe you used to take for granted or snipe about the little things in relation to. But yeah, I'd echo what Saf said. We're in a good place with music making and playing shows.
Keep me up to date on the date split as they flip around. Okay, that'd be good. And Vancouver Island, get your ass to Vancouver Island, and then we'll find some places. We'll find a place to dine. Is what we'll do.
Let's go.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
I'm Terry David Mulligan. This is Mulligan Stew, CKUA Radio, the Mulligan Stew podcast, and the TDM YouTube channel. Colleen Rennison has been an acquaintance, a friend in the business, in and out of the business. I could hear the talent in your voice in the music that you were making, but you had other things to get done. So this is me coming back years later saying, I now hear the promise that I heard initially way back then in your voice, in your songs. Well done on Persephone.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, it has been a long friendship that we've had. It started when I was like 12 years old. Hey, I was so happy to see your name in my inbox. Nice to talk to you again.
Thank you. Are you still acting?
No, I mean, I haven't been, but of course nobody's acting right now because of the strike.
True. But I mean, if given a choice, and maybe you had to do that choice from time to time between being an actor and being a singer-songwriter, did you have to make those choices?
I did. I had to turn down a couple acting gigs, which was really tough. You know, acting definitely pays a lot better than singing.
It sure does.
So, I mean, I've always been pretty serious about music being my first priority. So, you know, that was the choice that I made. I was trying to make a lot of people happy, and I couldn't see how I could do both at the same time. But now that things have settled and I'm a little bit more self-possessed, I think that I could juggle both. I really miss acting. I love acting.
No. It's fantastic. What do people recognize you most from acting? What role? Which one role?
I would say, oh gosh, you know, because it's got such an intense fan base, like the fanatics and the conventions and everything. Stargate, for sure.
Yeah. The former cast members and crew members from Beachcombers are meeting up in Gibson's. They're all going to gather around the Bruno Gerussi tug as a captain of the tug. It's coastal history. Anyway, the name of his tug is still sitting on a podium is Persephone. Yeah.
I should know this.
Yes.
I should know this.
Yes.
You know what? I'm a better Canadian because you gave me that information.
Thank you.
I feel bad that I didn't know.
Persephone is the name of the album?
Yes.
That you released September the 8th. I just noticed that See the Sky About to Rain was produced by Steve Dawson.
Yeah.
Who's a busy guy.
He's a very busy guy.
I'd love to see you hook up with him later down the way if you can, but he's in Nashville. He's got his own thing going. Mm-hmm. Does the album explain the road you've traveled?
Yeah. I mean, this album, I've said this before, I don't know if it's come out in print, but it came out like a kidney stone. Like I'm not the kind of songwriter that sits down. I don't write songs for fun. Like this album was written out of necessity. Yeah. Like I had to get it out. So it's very much like a log of the past 7 years, maybe, you know? It's really, really personal. It's a really personal album.
There's absolutely nobody happier than me to see that you've survived yourself, the world around you, your business, your choices, your ups and your downs, especially your downs, that I can still have this conversation with you. And I said exactly the same thing about 2 hours ago to Art Bergman, who I didn't think would ever survive his life. And he has, and he's triumphed. It's fantastic. So it gives me hope. It can be done. If you have friends, if you have a means to an end. I'll ask the same question that I asked Art. Did the writing and recording and creating of this music help you heal?
Absolutely. It was a necessity in the process of helping me heal. I mean, there were many things. It certainly wasn't the one thing, but it was definitely a huge part of my process of learning from the experiences and being able to look at it sort of subjectively and put some experiences in a box, like record them, like, okay, there it was, like that wasn't experienced in vain, sort of like commemorated by this song. Like it was necessary to go through these emotions to get to where I am now. And I'm glad I have these little touch tones that I can sort of look back on, like a diary entry almost, and be like, wow, I'm very lucky as an artist and with the collaborations that I made in the album to have that opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
We all go through these crazy things, but to have this, like this piece of art that represents that journey, that obstacle, or I mean, and they're not all like that crush or whatever. It's amazing as an artist that we get to have that.
Well, then of course, you have to expose yourself. You happen to open your heart, sing about it, at sometimes on a nightly basis.
Yes.
You know,
I didn't sing. I was so broken and sad that I didn't sing for a really long time.
I wondered about that.
I mean, part of singing and drumming are like the two things. Like you can't really, like you need the space to do it because it's really loud if you're really doing it. You know what I mean? Like playing the guitar and stuff, like you can kind of play it loudly or softly. But I mean, you can't sing Aretha Franklin under your breath.
Yep.
So I think part of it was just logistical, that I didn't have the space to sing where it was private or where I wouldn't bother anybody. But it just wasn't in my heart. So coming into this album and getting the, arena at Little Red Sounds to really let loose. And there's something that happens when a microphone is in front of you, where you just get permission to, like, once that thing is in front of your face, like, when you walk into a room and people are like sleeping or they've just woken up, like you're kind of really quiet. It's like the opposite of that.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you're allowed to go full blown now.
And the precious bodily fluids start moving.
Yes. Oh, I got pretty sweaty in that vocal booth while we were recording Persephone, that's for sure.
Now, I'm going to play a track so that people understand what the hell we're talking about. I've already checked The Taker, I Do, Fork in the Road, and Means to an End, and Crawling on the Ceiling. Which one do you want to start with?
Oh my gosh, that's really, I think The Taker is sort of the most like autobiographical. That was probably one of the first songs that got written for the album. So let's try that one.
It's a nice handshake. Yes, it is. Okay, this is The Taker, Colleen Rennison from Persephone.
Can I come for a ride? You can lead the way, but you should know that I'm a taker, and I'll take all you got to give. They'll tell you I'm a demon trying to drag you down, but you can lean on me and we can leave this town and takers, 'cause they'll take all we got to give. I'm gonna take you where the good girls don't, gonna pay the price, I'm gonna die alone. I'm gonna take you where the bad ones do, gonna pay the price, they're gonna tell on you. Down the well to see how far it goes. Let me take you, baby, down the well, if that's what you really want. I grew up fast and I grew up mean. It's gonna eat my heart, gonna kill my dreams. Whoa, but it takes all you got to give. Always feel alone in a crowded room. Shoot the dark, gonna miss the moon. Oh, yeah, they'll take all you got to give. Baby, won't you take me where the marquees are? Gonna ride or die, I'm gonna be a star. Give it all away for a song and dance. Just a little pay, just another chance. Down
Mulligan's 2 CKUA Radio. The album we're playing is Persephone. It's just come out. Colleen Rennison is the singer, the leader, co-writer, writer. How many of these songs did you actually write yourself?
I wrote all of them myself. The majority of them, I think, except for 2, were written by me, melody and everything. And then I brought them to my various guitar player friends and sat there with them and kind of was and sang them to them and just sat there and worked with them while they played chords along and told them what sounded right and what didn't sound right. And there were some times where I'd be like, no, it has to sound like it needed to sound a little bit more minor, a little more dissonant. And they're like, I don't know, this sounds kind of funny. I'm like, no, it's supposed to sound funny. That's how it's supposed to sound. So I had to do some persuading. But luckily, and when you do that, when you write a song like that, it's really important, the relationship you have with that person. So I was lucky that I had Parker and Eric and Felix. And then my friend that I met during COVID on the island, Andrew Kingsley from Unleash the Archers. We did a couple songs together. And it was a really interesting experience to take these super personal songs and then bring them to these guys. A couple songs were just like organically. It's Not Raining.
Yep.
And I Do just kind of happened. And same with Persephone.
Okay.
But most of it, I was the nucleus and I brought it to these guys.
The I Do track, if it's not a single, I think it is, it should be. It's just that kind of stuff. Where did that one come from?
I woke up in the middle of the night. From a dream. I had been listening to a lot of Temptations and the Supremes, and I had a crush on somebody. And I was just realizing that the album was really, really heavy. I wanted to write a song about being in love. A lot of the album's about the aftermath of when love goes wrong.
Yeah.
But I was like, what about like when you're in the thick of it and it's like exciting and good? So I woke up in the middle of the night and they're like, I do, guess I only wanna be with you. Why you seem to only call me out the blue. That just came to me and I wrote it down.
Did you record it? Did you write it down and record it? Okay.
I did.
Thank God.
And then I sent it to Felix. And then we got together and the song took shape.
Fork in the Road is about relationships?
Yes.
Well,
actually, that's going to be our third single.
Yeah.
I just finished a music video for that. And that song is coming from the perspective of a recently left lover seeing herself and the relationship through the eyes of her partner that had to leave.
Okay.
It's a painful look at yourself and knowing why you are someone that can't be loved.
even though the title, Colleen says, Crawling on the Ceiling, and I related to right away. That's like Snakes on a Plane. I know what that song's going to be about. But surprisingly, there's hope in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep on trying, like, promise I'll be good. I promise I'll be good. Yeah. It's not a message of defeat. It's sort of just like, hey, I am what I am.
It's what is. This is what it is. However, there's hope in there. There is a new day coming. Maybe it's already there. I love Means to an End.
Thank you.
I really like it. You did a lot of work in that, getting that right.
We did. We actually recorded that song originally as like sort of up tempo, and it sounds super CMT, like modern country music. And it sounds great, but I just didn't think it did the song justice. So we got back in the studio with just me and the piano player, Alexander Ward, our bass player, Max Sample, and Emilio Pagnotta, who also plays in a band with Alex called Mother Son. Those guys are from Kamloops, and they drove down again because I was like, no. This song, like, it sounds great, but we have to redo it. And they're like, really? It sounds so good. I'm like, no, it's not right. It's a way more tender song. It's got to be a ballad. So I was glad that they humored me. And I think the strings really really
Yeah.
bring that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, is Leave It All Behind, is that your Christmas single that will come back year after year after year?
You know what? Yeah, throw Christmas in there, and it's like, it's bound to show up on the radio. That song, yeah, that song. Want to talk about autobiographical? That song
Okay.
is like, I was living down on Powell and Victoria,
Oops.
and in like this one bedroom, I was so depressed. I wasn't talking to my family. It just got into a huge fight with my best friend. It was Christmas time. I was by myself. I was living in, it was like 100 square feet. And there was barely any room to walk. And I was drinking really, really heavily. Like, I was just so sad. I was right next door to the Princeton. And I would just go down the stairs, and when they opened, I would buy a bottle of wine. I'd go back upstairs and I would drink it and I would fall asleep. And when I woke up, I would go back downstairs and I would buy more wine. And I literally had made myself a carpet out of empty bottles of wine. There was nowhere to step because there were so many empty wine bottles. And I was just so sad. And that song, where it was just a point where it was like, I was wallowing in self-pity and thinking about all of the things that I'd lost because of my self-destruction and, personal problems and things, and just being self-indulgent with my feel, like, I don't know what, just the situation that I was in, and then the things that I needed to leave behind in order to get past that. And I really liked that notion, some things you lose and some things you leave behind. Some things aren't meant to be yours.
That's right.
Some things you have to make the conscious effort to say, no, that's not for me anymore, and walk away from. And that can be friends, that can be substances, that can be places, like.
Listen, any song that starts with a line that goes between Christmas and New Year's, I'm hooked. I'm right there. I'm hooked, because that's a very strange, that's a no man's land kind of.
It is
this and that. You're supposed to be swathed in happiness, and many people aren't. So write me a song
exactly.
about.
We know that. I feel like everybody knows that lull, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows the. I think a lot of people were saying that's what it felt like for all of COVID.
Now that you have this album out, what are the plans? Have you got the will, the happiness to go back on the road as a road warrior and tour it?
I would love to. I mean, I think I would love to get the chance to do it again. The first time when all of that happens, it's just happening to you. You're not prepared for the realities of what it's like to be on the road.
Yep.
And I kind of never got a chance to do it again after getting my feet wet. And now I'm so much older. I'm much wiser. I'm sober, and that's going to make a huge, huge difference for me, mentally and physically. And I think I realize what's really important, like, when you go on the road, you've got to be with people that you really love and that really support you. And you've got to have healthy relationships with the people you're out there with. Otherwise, that's really the cancer that grows.
Totally.
So now that I know sort of where the priorities need to be, I really want to get back out there and play.
I think I want to tell the audience that even though we're talking about some things that are down and dark, because that's a life lived, the songs have some joy and some bounce to them, like 60s girl groups.
It's not a depressing album.
No, it's not. It's not. You can dance to this stuff. Actually, that's one of the world's great revenges, is to get your message out and dance and make people dance at the same time. Make them do both. Make them think and dance. You got it.
Yes, exactly. Give them the 1-2 punch. I do, like, I didn't want to make this a morose album.
Sure.
And I think with the help of, and it's not, it's a lot, there's a lot of self-discovery, and there's a lot of revelations in there, right? And debauchery
Oh,
I really hope that, people can hear that. Like it, the self-discovery and going down the rabbit hole. There's a lot of thrills along the way, right?
I don't have tattoos to prove I'm hard. I'm crazy and my body's fraught with scars. Try to hold my head, but it just goes straight down my throat. Try to do my best, but I just take another toke. Oh, I promise I'll be good, but not if I'm still breathing. Yeah, I promise I'll be good, but not until I'm dreaming. Yeah, I promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. But I'm crawling on the ceiling. I'm crawling on the ceiling. Crawling on the ceiling. I'm crawling on the ceiling. Been getting pretty sick of trying to aim to please. What the hell has that shit ever done for me? I try to make amends, but I just make another joke. Picking up the pieces while my heart is fucking broke. Oh, I promise I'll be good, but not if I'm still breathing. Yeah, I promise I'll be good, but not until I'm bleeding. Yeah, I promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. But I'm crawling on the ceiling. 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 So many things that make me bad. So many things that make me sad. So many things that make me mad. So many things that make me sad. I'm just trying to find a little bit of peace. Try to find what's lying underneath all the broken pieces and all the made up truth. Cause when I go to sleep, all I can think about is you. Oh, I promise I'll be good, but not if I'm still bleeding. Yeah, I promise I'll be good, but not until I'm dreaming. Yeah, I promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. Promise I'll be good. But I'm crawling on the ceiling. I'm crawling on the ceiling. I'm crawling on the ceiling. Oh, but I'm crawling on the ceiling. So many things that make me mad. So many things that make me sad. So many things that make me mad. So many things that make me
Last question, I'll let you go. Where was the turning point? And did you realize it was the turning point? In you yourself, your the love you have for yourself. You're a different person now. You've turned a corner. What about that turning point? Where did it happen?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, it's been a journey. I'd love to say that there was a turning point where it was like it all snapped and it all came together, and then all of a sudden I was, off to the races. But I did, like, when this album started getting made, and Stephen, Jeffrey,
Okay.
I had these songs that I've been hanging on to, but I had no means of, getting them out and recording them or anything. And once he made that dream come true, I started to recognize myself again.
Okay.
And when this journey to make this album started, my life force and my destiny started to materialize again. And I had lost my way. I was on a path. I couldn't see the forest through the trees. You know what I mean? And everything started to make sense again. 2 years ago when this journey started, and we started really making this album. And these 2 years have been a huge learning experience, because, I finally gave myself enough worth and enough care to really look at the things that were bringing me down. And sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, when you start to really face the truth. But I can say that the amount that I've grown since creatively releasing this music, and then actually really giving myself enough credit and enough love to become the kind of person that can really support a project like this, mentally and physically. Yeah, that was the turning point when this all started. And these last 2 years, I've just totally transformed as a person, and I'm so excited to unleash this little morsel into the world.
And it's funny you would say that you walked away from singing for a while, because it does sound like your voice is now, someone is being delivered by someone who loves singing and is celebrating the fact she's got a voice like this to work with.
It's mine. I don't feel like a donkey getting slapped on the butt. You know what I mean? Getting driven to the next town. This is me. I'm the carrot in front of the donkey. I'm the cart. I'm the driver, and I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with where I am.
There you go. Abso-frickin-lutely. Thank you for doing this, and congratulations on Persephone. And we'll watch how it unfolds from here. Okay.
Thank you so much, Terry. It's really nice to see you and talk to you again.
Thank you. Thank you for the reconnect.
Yeah, man. Mwah. Take care.
Baby, don't you wanna make some time for me? Every time we talk, you say you're sorry for what a stranger you've been. Keeping me at arm's length, you know it ain't gonna work. No, it ain't gonna work. Can't say that I don't want you, just 'cause I'm going to get hurt. 'Cause I do, yes, I only want to be with you. Why you seem to only call me out the blue? Every time I see your name, I seem to hear sweet refrains. Don't you want a second chance? Don't you want some sweet romance? Hey baby, I just wanna spend some time with you. I like the way you walk, I like the way you talk, every little thing that you do. Pushing me away, babe, no, it ain't gonna do you no good. It ain't gonna do you no good. I think I'd like to stay